Hi, everyone. Hola a todos. Happy Friday. Welcome to Wednesday. I mean, not Wednesday. Not Wednesday. Wisdom Friday. I'm so happy to be here with you. We are going to go over a hot topic, which is titled basically how to just stop making, everything such a big deal in our lives. Hi, Renee. Hola, Maria. ¿Cómo estás? I have Stephanie over here on YouTube. I have, nice to see you too, Maria. Nice to see you too. I hope that we all get a lot out of this live this morning. Renee says, happy Wednesday, Friday. I know, right? It's like basically I'm reminding myself that it can be every day can be happy. Happy Wednesday, happy Thursday, happy Friday, happy Saturday, happy Sunday. And I'm over here live on both YouTube and Facebook, and grateful to be here. This topic is something that is so just so vital, I feel, as we move forward in life, and to just stop making things such a big deal. But before we do that, I love you too, Renee. Hi, Stephanie. Hi. This is so exciting. All right, everyone, let's go ahead and tune in as we are just grateful and thankful for this moment. If you can close your eyes, that's fine. If you can't, that's okay too. Just do your best just to stop for a minute and tune into your truth, tune into the silence. We're so grateful and thankful to come into this vortex of love here online, to come into the sphere of expansion and love and truth in this space where everything is just so vast and so beautiful, where time collapses and we are one. So in this space, we invite Spirit in, our dear Holy Spirit, our higher self in, to guide this session on what needs to be said would be said, what needs to be explored will be explored, so that it's the utmost benefit of healing our minds and living the happiness that we are so worthy of. Because as we all know, as I always say, happiness is our inheritance and happiness is our function. All right, everyone, I invite you to put your hand on your heart. When you're ready, if you have your eyes closed, you can go ahead and open them as we declare, I am love and I am willing. I am so willing, right? Amen, 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 amen. Hi, Hector. Welcome to the party. Thank you, Maria, she says, I'm so proud of what you're doing. Thank you, Maria. It's such an honor. It's such an honor to be able to just remember truth together, and to, I always say God is my career, and it's a goodie. It's a good one. So I have a couple things to share in regards to today's live, which is the beauty of not making things such a big deal. And I feel that it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful when we don't make things a big deal, because there's so much beauty in our happiness, in our joy, and to be able to go ahead and really not let these external things grab us is a beautiful. So that's why I say the beauty in not making things such a big deal. So what happened is, basically, I recently went on a trip to Miami and to Boston, and I think I shared that with you guys last week. And I wrote this on my latest newsletter, and this is why I wanted to bring this up, is that I got back home, and after 2 weeks of being away, I was touring, I was doing a lot of workshops, I was speaking, I was connecting with people, especially at the Boston conference. And at the same time, I was being a mom and a wife, and I was traveling. So there's a whole element of energy there. And instead of coming home and chilling and just relaxing, I came home and I got into doing mode. And I'm like, how the fuck did I forget to take care of myself? I teach this stuff, like, what is going on here? How did I forget to I lost your comments there. There we go. Hi, hello, beloved. Hello, so happy to see you, my friend. So I get home and I start doing. So what do I start doing? I think women were really good at this, and men too, right? We start to feel guilty. We're like, oh my God, we got back from vacation. We have to do laundry. We have to cook. We have to clean. We have to start checking emails, etc. And then I started to see all this backup of my work because I have been, focusing my energy on travels. That I forgot about myself. I forgot about, my spiritual practice in a way, even though I was doing it, but not fully. And I started to make my life a big deal. I started to make these to-dos, which I call them love do's. I forgot that they were love do's and I made them to-dos, and I started to make these things very real. Can you guys identify with having like business trans outness? It's like you think that the work that you do or whatever is so important that it takes away your peace. He says guilty. No, yeah, it's like this guilt, right? So what I did is that I started to feel anxiety from getting back from my trip and all the things that I felt that I needed to do. And I started to feel sadness. And how many of us can relate to that, right? Just like overwhelmed by life. The other day, I posted this post that said, instead of hustle, let's go more into alignment, right? To align more instead of being the hustle. I feel that this world has taught us that success is hustle, and you have to do this and you have to do that, and you have to do videos and you have to keep up with social media and you have to post this and you have to write newsletters, especially like in what I'm doing, right? So, but not just me. I mean, I just see it even in my women's group. I know, right? I like the high five. There we go. So I feel that not just me, but I see it in the world. Like there's this hustle, and my antennas go up a little bit when I start to hustle and when I start to make things matter and make them a big deal. Because when I first started my speaking journey, I really didn't make it matter, and I think that that's why I had so much fun, is because it wasn't really a big deal. And I've seen that sometimes I fall into this trap of like starting to make it matter. And I want to go back to that innocence and that fun and that joy. So where are you in your life now that you're making something a big deal, right? So in my book, Live Your Happy, in chapter 12, let's talk a little bit about how big deals even came about. Like, why are we even experiencing this disconnection, right? So it says here, so let's talk about the world. So I talk about how the world was created. So in the beginning, there was perfect happiness. So this is like the beginning of the world. So this is all metaphors, okay, guys? Sometimes this is a state referred to metaphorically as a Garden of Eden, but it's really a state of mind that there's pure bliss. So this is what the Course says, like this is how the world was created. So at the beginning, there's pure bliss, there's ecstasy, there's no judgments, there's no sadness, there's no anger, there's no sickness, only love. Then there arose a very silly thought. Is there something else? Right? And then that was the beginning of doubt. And as the Course suggests, no one has been sure of anything since. Da, 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 da. Exactly when did this mistaken thought occur? The question, right? I ask. And then the answer is just a moment ago. Just a moment ago. It happens countless times before, but the only time that counts is the most recent one, because the only time that matters is now. We are constantly thinking that we're separate from God, removing ourselves from the love that is our true nature. That's why we remain in such a painful world. How long we've been there is really besides the point, right? Because it's just every moment we're choosing the separation. Every moment we're deciding to choose our true self or our limited self or our self that's not connected to God. So it's happening every moment, right? So if you want to live your happy instead of being trapped in a world of separation, so being trapped in a world of problems, being trapped in a world of big deals, here are just a few typical familiar big deals. So if we want to start to let go of being trapped, we have to start to see that these big deals are not really such a big deal, and we're just separating and creating these big deals so we can punish ourselves, and so that we can feel like crap. And it's so unconscious. So here are a few big deals. So you guys want to see what a big deal is? So basically big deals are: I can't afford my taxes, modern politics are running the country, the system is rigged against me, I have to go to court, he didn't text me, I didn't get the job, I lost my driver's license, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so my big deal this week was I was making my coming back to LA, all these things that I had to do, supposedly do, and I had on my plate. I was making them a big deal, and they were taking away my peace, and they were causing me stress. And I was feeling a little bit depressed. I even remember going to my acupuncturist and just like, "How are you?" And I'm like, "Oh," and I just started crying. And I'm like, "I don't know. I just feel so sad." And then I remembered again how I was able to change that around, and I told her I was able to change how I was able to change that around, and this is what I did. So I was telling her the story of, yeah, that I was crying there, but I was really crying because I was just letting emotion out, but I wasn't really feeling as bad as I was feeling the day before. And she says, "Well, what?" He says, "Victim, victim, victim of circumstances. I'm done with all that shit." Yes, I'm so done with all that shit. That is so true. I am done with all that shit. Are you guys done with all that shit? So I woke up in the morning, and I feel also to that comment. I feel that when you are on a spiritual practice and you are very dedicated every day, you don't fall so deep in the hole. I realize that I don't fall so deep in the hole. Right when I start to get really, really deep in it, I'm like, okay, no, I'm done. And because we have every right to say, "Stop it, guys." So that's what I did. I said, all right, that night I went to sleep. I wasn't feeling good, and I said, "Spirit, I give over this day to you." In the morning I woke up, I said, what excites me today? What do I want to do that excites me? So I thought, you know what, instead of having my coffee in bed or on the sofa, I'm going to go downstairs by the pool. My apartment complex has a pool. So I'm going to go outside, and I'm going to have my coffee next to the pool, and I'm going to enjoy myself. And then I'm going to do something that is super important if you are dealing with big deals in your mind, and how to stop this chatter in your mind. And this is like one of my biggest practices, is that I sit down and I get really honest about my feelings about it, and I start to just call them out, whatever that may be. And then I go ahead and I give it over to my inner wisdom to give me insights. So I sat down and I wrote this. So this was done June 3rd. So we're in June 7th. And I put question: I would like guidance on balance of my career, motherhood, business expansion, and handling my mom's affairs and my health. Okay. So I started to get really honest about all my feelings about being a mother and my expansion of my business. I started to get really honest about like my health and how I was feeling with my energy level. I was feeling very tired, and I just started to just throw this up and started to get just really honest and feel that inside. And how many of you guys can relate to feeling this feeling of sadness, of like overwhelmed with this life, like you have to hustle. And what happens is when you start to tune in to these feelings, you start to realign yourself with what is really success. Like I feel like success is feeling at peace. And I said this last week, is feeling at peace within these circumstances. Like that's success. Success for me was me being able to change this around that day, June 3rd, when I journaled. That is success for me. So what I wrote here, what I got from Spirit was, and this was so beautiful, and Spirit sounds like me, basically. It's like me talking to myself. But when I'm talking to myself, it's so gentle and it's so loving, and there's so much peace involved that I don't that that I don't that 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 it's like I know that it's not me, and that I'm not getting in my way. Stephanie says, I experience this too, giving it over, even if I don't know what exactly is happening. And it says, I'm sad and lost my peace. I go to my inner therapist and give it over until the light returns. And yes, our inner therapist, the Holy Spirit. So what I do is I give it over, and then I receive this. I love this. It says, nothing is do or die. So it's like Spirit was like saying, listen, Maria, this is really not a big deal. You're not going to die if you don't get any of these things done. And who cares? Like, seriously, right? And then what I got is this is what I love. There isn't anything so important to do in this world. Okay, this is a good one. There isn't anything so important to do in this world besides remembering that it isn't really real. Seriously? I was like, wow, that one smacked me in the face really good. Again, there isn't anything so important to do in this world besides remembering that it isn't really real. And for most of you that are watching this must be like, well, what the fuck, Maria? It did feel very real, or this feels very real. And it does. But in truth, it's like, really, guys, like, how important is this? Like, how important are our goals, or how important are these to-do lists? Like, really, how important are these thoughts in our mind that are telling us to do this or to do that, and push and like pulling us in different directions? And we suffer so much, like, seriously. So I want to get to like the bottom of this, like these things that just take away our peace. So it went on to say, don't make things matter. Really, don't make things matter. And there's a difference between not making things matter, and there's another thing about taking responsibility for things. So sometimes you don't make things matter, but doesn't mean that you don't do anything. What it means is that you don't let it take away your peace. When I mean don't make something matter, it doesn't mean that you just say, oh, fuck it, and I'm not going to be responsible and fuck this project. No, that's not what I'm saying here. What it is when you don't make things matter means that you're not going to let this situation or problem define you or take away your peace. Now, does it not mean that you don't talk about it? Does it not mean that you don't take certain actions? That's different, right? So we have to be very vigilant here and mindful of that. The Stephanie says the ego wants to make the world real and will try anyway to grab out our attention outward. I agree. I feel like the Course in Miracles says we're too okay with mind wandering, and we get transed out. So for me, I have such a strong spiritual practice. So I was very surprised when I found myself in this sort of whirlwind when I came back from my trip. And I feel that it's just spirit, it's just a nudge. And it's so beautiful that it happened, because it brought me back to God and made me realize, okay, Maria, I'm still working at this. And to let you guys know, we're all working on this together. And even though we might be students of the course, and even though we might be students of whatever it is, and we really give our time, or we're teachers, sometimes we're going to forget, and that's okay. So something that came to me yesterday was I had a mystical experience of where I was driving with my husband back from the zoo, and I started to feel weird, and I started to feel like a sense of like sadness come over me again. And I was like, what's this? And I just right there saw my thought thinking about things that I had to do again. And they were like there. And then all of a sudden I was like, no, this doesn't really matter. This is not a big deal. And this whatever I'm thinking, just because I'm thinking it doesn't mean that it matters. And I swear to God, it just dissipated. So that's the power of our thoughts. Like, that's the power that we have over how we want to experience things. Like, literally, it just went away. The whole thing subsided. Another thing that I received by the pool that day is 3 steps on how to really deal with what I was going through. And this, you guys can use it as well. Is 1, Spirit said, be gentle with yourself. And how often in life we're not gentle with ourselves with our problems. How often in life we actually are the opposite. We're so hard on ourselves. And I feel that this is a good reminder, like, regardless of what we're going through, it's just to really be loving and caring and kind with ourselves as souls, as spirits. And really, kind of like how, if, for instance, I try to think of me, how I treat Ari is to treat myself with that gentleness as well. Another thing is to ask for help. I started to see that I was like going on a whirlwind spin in my life, and I wasn't asking Spirit for help. I was just going into the doing mode. And that is really tricky, because that will bring us in the hole very quickly, of where we will tailspin and feel like crap. So that's the other thing, is to ask for help. And I have put a link I'm going to put a link after on Facebook on this beautiful meditation that I offer for free that is called Letting Go of Your Big Deals, of where you're able to give all these big deals over to your higher self and then get insights. And it's all guided with music. It's beautiful. And the whole process is there. It's about 20 minutes. And that's available. I have the link here on YouTube, but I still have to put it on Facebook, and I will do that after I finish here. And the next step that Spirit told me was have fun. Have fun. And this is why yesterday I went to the zoo, is because I wanted to go have fun and to have balance in my life. So that's another thing. So first thing is be gentle with myself, ask for help, and have fun. I think that in this life, in this world, I've come to the conclusion, and all the work that I've done and all the spiritual work that I've done, that the less I make things matter and give them weight, the happier I am. The happier I am. Like, seriously, like if I think of a speaking engagement, or if I think of like an email I need to write, or if I think of anything I need to do with Ari, right when I think this is not a big deal, like let me just be present and I'll get to it. It takes away so much of the strain, because in that moment I'm remembering I never separated from the mind of God. Like in that moment I'm doing the work of remembering that this thought, this grievance, this separation cannot separate me from God. So that is just the work, and it's so beautiful. I always say everything's working for us. So everything that we feel that is causing us hindrance or causing us pain is actually working for you, because it's just another thing that you set up in your mind so that you can remember God again. It's like going to the gym and working out. It's the same thing with this. It's like all these problems, these big deals help you work it out in your mind to recognize you've never left God. Like it's actually working for you. So it's like invaluable. It's amazing. Stephanie shared there the link for the meditation. I shared same message today, to be loving and patient and gentle with ourselves when in transformation phases. Yes, it's so important to be loving, to be patient with ourselves. I feel that we just don't do that. We're in the hustle. We're like, taka, 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 just in the hustle. Ruby says, right, I totally agree. So yeah, guys, so I leave you with that for this Wisdom Friday. It's just vital. I feel I can't say it enough to just not let these big deals get to you and not make things matter so much. Don't give it such weight. So if today something comes up for you and you are, making it real, just say, you know what, this really doesn't matter. Like, this doesn't need to take away my peace. Like, let me have fun this Friday. Let me have fun this weekend, whatever that is for you. So I invite you to check out that free meditation that I have. Also, I invite you just to practice this, just look at what you're making a big deal right now, what is taking away your peace, and to give it away to your higher self, to inner wisdom, and have the Holy Spirit have a reinterpretation of the whole thing. So that way it doesn't bother you. And that way it doesn't take away your peace of mind and your happiness, which again is your inheritance and it is your function. Thank you so much. He says, we appreciate you, and the message from Holy Spirit. I appreciate you guys. It's really, really such a blessing. And if you didn't get a chance, Joni over here says in the YouTube side, she says the meditation is awesome. Yes, guys, the meditation, the free meditation to let go of your big deals rocks. It's so helpful. So I invite you to download that. The link is here on Facebook and the link is here on YouTube. Also, guys, if you have found any value in this live, I invite you to make your donation. You can go ahead and do that at mariafelipe.org, where it says buy me a coffee. It's not really buy me a coffee. It's just a concept that my husband came up with, but you can support my ministry there. It's funny because my friend asked me the other day, like, how do you make income? And I'm like, well, I live a life of trust. And one of the ways I do make income is through donations to the ministry. So your support really helps me doing what I do 100% of the time. All right, guys, I love you guys so much, and I love being with you here on Fridays. Also, remember that Live Your Happy is available on audiobook. I just produced it, and you can find that the link to that on my website as well. In the meantime, you could get this on Amazon. I talk about big deals on here and how to really like step it up a notch and kick those ego tricks in the culo, in the ass. All right, I'm gonna do this talking in Spanish. I'm gonna do the Spanish live now, so I'll be back on now and do the same thing in Spanish. But I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for sticking through this amazing talk about big deals, and share it. I invite you to share this video from Facebook or from YouTube. Share this video so that people know that their big deals are really not such a big deal, and to not make things matter so much. The time has come. The time has come. I love you. Okay, bye. Till next time.